Hello, welcome. This is the virtual competitor briefing for the 2025 Spring Dinghy Regatta hosted by Santa Barbara Yacht Club. We're so excited to have you and looking forward to a great weekend on the water. My name's Brad Shaw, Peter. I'll be your PRO, and I think it's going to be a really great event. So I'm going to kind of get into just a few shore logistics really quickly and some on the water logistics. And we'll, of course, discuss some of this at the competitor briefing in person on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. First and foremost, you can get to all event documents at sbyc.org/spring-dinghy. And if you scroll down, you'll see there's a whole slew of documents. You can look at entrance, you can view who's signed up for your class, etc. We'll be trying to score this fairly quickly online, live as you guys finish. So, hopefully there'll be good data for the folks who are trying to watch at home. Sailing instructions are posted. Attachment A is important. This is onshore staging. So we have usage of basically this back row, and it says coach boat trailers here, but generally speaking, they're not going to be as hard on that. But this back row is good for all of the 29ers and ILCAs that are coming, and this is where you'll put your boats when you arrive. It's important to understand that this is actually in a different location, this whole staging area, than the yacht club, and I'll go into that in a second. So yellow stalls, yellow parking stalls, as you can kind of see here, are for trailers. Like here's a boat with no car attached to it, or cars attached to trailers. Any individual cars, like I think this guy right here in this picture, if I'm correct, is maybe violating that if that is a car, I can't really tell, could get a ticket. So in yellow stalls, these are for trailers and cars only. The white stalls are for cars only, and you can kind of see that. So there's additional single vehicle parking over this way in the lot. We'll have launching from this eastmost ramps here, which is like a dinghy ramp. There's actually even another dinghy ramp that's been installed here. This picture's kind of old. So there's plenty of places to kind of go in and launch. But once we've launched, we want to take our dollies back to the back row back here. We'll have a rinse station over here at the end of each day. A hose that takes quarters will be provided, and you guys can rinse your boats off after you come out. There really isn't going to be much of a check-in when we get there. Just a heads up. It's a pretty small event. We've got 13 29ers and 8 ILCAs, most of which are Santa Barbara based. And so long story short is, we'll be meeting everybody at 11 a.m. at the competitor briefing, and I'll probably do like a roll call or something like that just to see if there's any boats that aren't there. But there's not much of a check-in. We'll have some paper copies of sailing instructions, etc., but nothing super formal. We decided to keep the cost really low on this event, and that means we won't really be providing any food or drink or anything like that, just sailboat racing. And we decided to do that because the Santa Barbara's a beautiful town, and we felt that a lot of people who come visit want to go try the restaurants around town. They don't necessarily want a burrito at the launch ramp after racing. So we decided to just save your money and say, look, there's great restaurants all over the place. And of course, the Santa Barbara Yacht Club is open to visitors as well. So just when you come in, maybe let them know you're with the regatta, and that'll help them understand if you'd like to make a reservation or otherwise. Um, when you're rigging, try to stay in these stalls, okay? When we have our competitor briefing, we'll do it on the beach. We need to keep these lanes here clean and clear so that any emergency vehicles could get through. This is a public launch ramp area, and so therefore we have to kind of work within the boundaries and the restrictions and rules of the Santa Barbara Harbor Department. So where is that area exactly? For those who haven't been here before, here's kind of a more global map. And you can see that this is Cabrillo Boulevard, or Cabrillo, depending on how you say it, turns into Shoreline Drive here. But you can come in to this lot through this kiosk that's going to be right here, and you're actually going to go all the way over the launch ramp. I'm going to actually pull up Google Maps. That will help a little bit more, hopefully. So here's the harbor. We'll be sailing kind of out here or over here, depending on where the breeze is coming from. And you can see here's Cabrillo Boulevard as it turns into Shoreline Drive. And when you come in, you're going to turn into Harbor Way. And instead of continuing to the Santa Barbara Yacht Club, which is over here, you're actually going to take a left-hand turn. And there is a kiosk right here where you can get a parking ticket for your car. Cars are $20 a day, trailers are $10 a day. There are some free parking spots that I can tell you about in a moment. But you're just gonna follow the water all the way down here until you get to there's an automatic gate that opens here, and then you'll be at the boat launch ramp. And this is that back row we were talking about. Here's where we'll have our competitor briefing. There is some free parking for cars on Bath Street. So you can try Bath Street if you get there early enough. You drop your trailer off, go right on out, 15 minutes free, and park right over here and then walk across the street for 20 bucks a day might be worth it. There's also free parking here at Pershing Park at this baseball diamond. It's a little bit longer of a walk, but really not too bad. And again, the trailers are $10 a day. The cars are $20 a day, and it's incremental. So if you only stay for an hour, you're not charged 20 bucks. But anyways, that's kind of like the idea of it. This is our base of operations. As I stated previously, we're not doing like a dinner, we're not doing breakfast or like snacks or any of that kind of stuff. So long story short, if you're kind of like, oh, I really wanted to check out the Santa Barbara Yacht Club, the parking here is for members, but you could always, either drive on over. There's 90-minute parking right here, and you could come in and get some lunch or dinner. If you're a parent or a spectator, you're welcome to also spectate over there. They only ask that if you're just watching the racing, watch it from the lower deck where there is not dining, and that's totally open and free to you guys. But if you're gonna want to sit up on the upstairs of the yacht club, to watch racing that you would get, uh, that's kind of reserved for dining, and you're welcome to do that, but just so you know. So again, that'll be great viewing because we anticipate like our racing area being right here, as you can see in attachment B, racing area. So racing area 1, it's a pretty big circle there. It's probably going to be much smaller considering the size of the boats and speed of the boats, depending on the breeze. This racing area 2 will be used for a southeasterly direction. So, and we may not even go down there, but that would probably be where we go if there's southeasterly. Looking at the forecast, Saturday looks pretty great, honestly. Sunday, a lot of people getting really excited about, saying, oh, it's going to be really windy. The problem with really windy forecasts in Santa Barbara is that if you've ever looked at Windy, the app, the wind kind of wraps like this, and sometimes it can't make this turn. And so it kind of funnels and eddies back into Santa Barbara, um, as you can probably readily look up on a forecast model. We'll see what this particular model says, but we're right here. And then if you look at, Sunday at 1 p.m., it's looking like it's pretty light from the south. And that's one model. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. You can see the wind kind of goes like this, and then it kind of backfills like that. So if the wind is big enough, it'll kind of come through. Saturday, looking a lot more like it kind of wraps and gets through, and maybe we'll have some really nice breeze. So looking forward to Saturday for sure, and hopefully Sunday will be better. But anyway, those are our racing areas, and that kind of gives you a vibe for why we might have to go to the east if it's a southeasterly from an eddy or a westerly from a standard sea breeze direction. Everything else is on here. The one thing that's unique about this, and we do at the launch ramp in particular, is we have an online protest form, which is just a Google form. It makes it really easy for me to then take the hearing locations and times and just update, the hearing time and location. So when somebody fills out a protest, this will auto-populate. So you can see if you're being protested just by clicking on this link. Oh, wait, I got protested in a race too. The hearing time and location will be posted by me, and then we'll go from there. So you'll know to meet, okay, we're going to meet at the corner of the launch ramp at 4:30 or whatever it is. And we'll update our protest time limit here at the end of the day. The results, of course, will be posted here, and any other links or some logistics and things like that to check out. But otherwise, generally speaking, pretty straightforward. If you should have any questions regarding the briefing, certainly you can email me or call me. I've got a phone number at the bottom of my emails you'll see here, and let me know if you have any questions. If it's pertinent to answer to everybody, we will. I don't know that there's much else to go over. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all. We only have two starts. We should be able to really get off some good races and really focus on you guys and the gals out there and make sure that it's just awesome racing for y'all. So hopefully you have a great trip here as you come into Santa Barbara, and we'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, Saturday, May 17th. And looking forward to a great event. All right, thanks everybody. Safe travels.